It's been an emotional day for Target workers here at Devonshire Mall. I actually spoke to someone who worked at this store over the phone this morning, and she did say employees had no idea about the closures. They had actually found out that stores were closing across Canada through the media this morning. So a lot of emotion, a lot of shock. You know, I did drive down to the store later in the day. I did approach some employees outside the store. No one wanted to speak to me. They were very emotional. I did, however, speak to a vendor who works for Target. She was at the store this morning as employees were walking in. She said some of them had huge smiles on their faces coming into work. That soon changed as they learned about the announcement. She also said, you know, employees have been instructed to act normal and to direct anyone with questions to the store's website.
And what are shoppers saying about this?
Well, shoppers were just as shocked as employees were. I actually broke the news to some of them in the parking lot this morning. They are disappointed. The Target here has only been open for 2 years. They said they like the store and they like coming here instead of going to the competitors. It's clean. They like the deals. And some of them even said they'll be willing to go across the border to the U.S. to shop at the Target there instead.
All right, Joanna, thank you. That's Joanna Dragici in Windsor, Ontario. Well, the failure of Target is huge and one for the business books. Jeannie Lee is here to go over just what went wrong. And we certainly remember, Jeannie, all the excitement and fanfare that Target was coming to Canada. And then 2 short years later, these big, huge stores, and now they're going.
And, you know, that was Target's first mistake. Remember how it announced that it was going to be coming to Canada way in advance before they even started to negotiate some of these leases. And that kept it in the news with lots of splashy events and regular updates. And in fact, it was almost exactly 3 years ago today, I noticed, that it was in the news again, trumpeting its 24 first locations. All of this, of course, built up anticipation sky high, and that started the decline, really, because inflated expectations are really hard to meet. Right? And then, meanwhile, consumers would come in and they would find understocked shelves. And in fact, maybe the overexpansion was very obvious to them. The stores were huge, freshly renovated at great expense, and looked even emptier when shoppers didn't show up. Then there was disappointing prices and stock, as you say, in terms of what people were used to finding in Targets in the U.S. So the company really overestimated its appeal, too. Even overestimated its own abilities, because early on it was saying, hey, we're going to make money in the first year. Meanwhile, now we know that it will not have any chance of making money for another 6 years, which is why the company is pulling its plug. Have a listen to the CEO of the company today.
A harsh reality is that both sales and profits continue to fall short of our expectations this holiday season. And we have not realized the significant improvement in Canadian consumer sentiment that we believe is necessary.
And that's because once consumer interest is lost, it's very hard to win it back. And certainly Target is finding that out in a huge way. Although it may get more interest in the next 4 to 5 months, the liquidation sales are on.
And then it'll be interesting to see who fills those big, huge stores right across this country, right? But the timing is not necessarily much of a surprise.
No, the new year is when retailers and marriages, too, actually decide to call it quits. You want to get past the holidays and reassess in the cold, hard light of January, and that often happens. And here's what we mean. Just today, Sony announced that it's going to be closing all 14 of its stores across Canada. Mex dropped the news yesterday that it's liquidating all 95 stores by the end of next month. SmartSet, it's in the process of closing 107 stores. And Holt Renfrew, this was announced a while ago, but again, the whole story of getting past the holidays and then closing, it'll close 2 of its stores at the end of this month. And really, Target learned the hard way, the cold truths about Canada, and really went big too quickly. And this is what this business professor is pointing out. Have a listen.
Those lessons can only be learned when you are in the market. That's why it's important to start slow, learn from those lessons live in market lessons, and then grow from there.
We can say, though, that Target went big, now it's going home.